The president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, is utterly humiliated in her woke video celebrating women's empowerment, of course, just after she fired Gina Carano. In this video, we're going to take a look at the video disaster featuring Kathleen Kennedy, how fans are rebelling against the newly woke Star Wars franchise, and why the ideological contradiction at the heart of the woke left guarantees they will always end up eating themselves. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you. As always, we're here to give you each and every single day conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent times, helping you to think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Some alt tech links down below for you Rumble fans. Make sure to click on the link below to subscribe to our new Rumble channel and help us to get to 100,000 subscribers there. And for you Parler fans, make sure to click on the link below and subscribe to my Parler channel. And let's together support the return of this wonderful alt-tech site. Now, before we begin, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's our good friends over at BioTrust and their awesome immune system supporting product, Ageless Body. With our rapid advances in science over the years, there are much more powerful and effective ways to boost your immune system than just taking mega doses of vitamin C. In fact, our sponsors over at BioTrust have combined 4 of the world's best immune supporting powerhouses along with that mega dose of vitamin C into their #1 immune support product, Ageless Body. Simply put, Ageless Body provides you 5 of the most powerful immune support ingredients available, including their #1 immune support recommendation, turmeric, that has a 46 times better absorption than most other forms. And best of all, if you click on that link below today, get this, you're going to get Ageless Body at their lowest price ever at 51% off with free US shipping to boot. So do not wait. Click on that link or go to agewithsteveturley.com today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. We've got a fascinating development in the whole Gina Carano saga that I think exposes the entire self-defeating nature of far leftist feminism in particular and cultural Marxist grievance politics in general. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Kathleen Kennedy, okay? Kennedy is an American film producer and president of the Lucasfilm Corporation, a subsidiary of Disney Studios, of course, famous for the Star Wars franchise and all. Kennedy, as you may have guessed, is a radical leftist. She's a total SJW, an avowed feminist who likes to sport, shirts with "the forces females" splashed across the front, things like that. Well, she just landed some hot water with Star Wars fans, and rightly so. A few days back, she appeared on a YouTube video celebrating women's achievements in the film industry. It was hosted on the Oscars YouTube channel, and you can hear for yourself Kennedy celebrating Lucasfilm's dedication to empowering women. You know, your typical woke rhetoric that literally means nothing today, except, of course, when it turns out to be radically hypocritical. You know, you recall that just a few days prior to posting that video celebrating women's empowerment, Kennedy fired the MMA fighter turned actress Gina Carano, who most notably played Cara Dune in the new Disney Plus series Mandalorian, simply for no other reason than Carano expressed her opinion, her political views, which turn out to be very much on the side of Trump and are very, very politically incorrect. And so the cancel culture left, represented by Kathleen Kennedy, demonstrated their commitment to female empowerment by firing Gina. And so the hypocrisy was so blatant with the posting of that video that Star Wars fans revolted big time. Kennedy's video got completely ratioed. The dislikes were so massive and the comments were so viciously critical of her hypocrisy that the Oscars channel actually had to disable the comments as well as the likes and the dislikes. According to CosmicBooks.com, screenshots of the Oscars YouTube page show the video received a massive 10,000 dislikes before the feature was turned off. Moreover, thousands of Star Wars fans are canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions over the Gina Carano fiasco, and Kennedy is widely reported to be one of the more loathed names in Hollywood. Now, I have to say that when I came across this development, the first thought I had was how wonderfully it evidenced the self-defeating nature of leftist liberalism and cultural Marxism. Leftists always end up eating themselves, and this story provides a perfect window into how. What's essential here for us to get is that leftist liberalism, particularly in terms of its doctrine of political correctness, is rooted in a notion that was developed in the 1960s called repressive tolerance. How's that for a term? Repressive tolerance. It's a notion concocted by the cultural Marxist Herbert Marcuse of the Frankfurt School. And we've done deep dives into the Frankfurt School and their influence on college campuses across the country in some of our exclusive videos for our Insiders Club members that you can join simply by clicking on the link below. But suffice it to say here, Marcuse's notion of repressive tolerance argued that dominant ethnic cultures in the West could be effectively overthrown by a coalition of oppressed minorities. And that's the key. The whole point of repressive tolerance is to overthrow and destroy Western civilization. That's its whole point. These guys in the Frankfurt School were absolutely explicit about that. Again, you can hear their quotes directly in our deep dives. But what Marcuse argued in the 1960s is that forming a coalition of the oppressed or the aggrieved, a coalition of society's victims, was the primary way you can overthrow the dominant culture. And you hold this coalition of the aggrieved together by what he called a policy of repressive tolerance. And repressive tolerance involves championing all minority opinions and minority groups while at the same time excluding unequivocally anything conservative, anything indicative of the dominant ethno-cultural group or tradition. Remember, Marcuse was a Marxist. And as a Marxist, he saw the world as made up of a binary of antithetical power distributions between a dominant colonialist power, which is often labeled white and male and increasingly Christian, that disenfranchises politically and socially minority cultures through sexist, racist, and classist exclusions. And so, to be woke is to recognize this binary of power discrepancies in society and then become an SJW. A social justice warrior who works tirelessly to overcome these social injustices, these power inequities. But again, the fundamental strategy for awakening this woke society is repressive tolerance, which involves championing all minority opinions and minority groups while at the same time excluding unequivocally anything conservative, anything indicative of the dominant ethnocultural group or tradition. And so, the modern left has been largely successful in holding a coalition of oppressed minorities together, largely by focusing on a common enemy, an enemy common to all oppressed minorities, which in our day, as it turns out, is the white male. So this is where the role of blaming white supremacy and male patriarchy for every evil under the sun becomes so important in maintaining cultural Marxist norms. Now, this is where things get interesting. This is where we could start to see this whole woke SJW project unraveling. But first, we've got a free gift for you. Make sure to click on the link below and download your own alt-tech directory guide, which we call the New Conservative Survival Guide to Big Tech Censorship. It is absolutely free for you as an ebook download. Now, this is a guide that's going to give you all the alternative social media sites that are popping up all over the place. They have all your favorite independent content creators, but without any of the censorship that we've been exposed to by big tech. It's absolutely free for you, and it's also going to give you some insights into what scholars are calling an emerging post-Google age. It's really neat. Absolutely free as an ebook download. It's yours simply by clicking on the link below. So don't let big tech censors get in the way of your favorite content creators. Click on the link below and enjoy your survival guide to big tech censorship today. All right, so this is where it all gets fascinating, okay? If repressive tolerance, which is basically political correctness today, if repressive tolerance is all about championing victims groups and opinions and silencing supposed oppressive ones, what happens when a member of a victim group starts spouting ideas that sound like they're coming from the oppressors? What happens when a member of a minority group starts sounding like a conservative? What do you do then? Well, we know what you do. You cancel them. Repressive tolerance always errs on the side of repression as over and against the tolerance. And why? Why do we know that if a member of the victim class sounds like a conservative, taking the side of the oppressor, why do we know they will always be canceled? What's the whole point of repressive tolerance? Come on, class. What's the whole point? Why did these cultural Marxists like Herbert Marcuse come up with repressive tolerance in the first place? To destroy. Specifically to destroy Western civilization. And to that end, not women's liberation, not racial emancipation, none of these matter. They only matter as long as they can be weaponized and exploited as the means of destroying Western civilization. But what happens when you're a member of one of these victim classes, but you no longer see yourself as a victim? Then you can't be weaponized. You can't be exploited to destroy the dominant oppressive system. And therefore, you become an impediment to that destruction, and you are therefore canceled. Don't ever forget this. Write this down with your number 2 pencil. Cancel culture will cancel anyone or anything who gets in the way of their ultimate goal, which is the cancellation of Western civilization itself. Cancel culture is ultimately about canceling Western civilization itself. And according to the logic of repressive tolerance, only victims can be weaponized to achieve that, which means that the woke left, the advocates of cultural Marxism, can only achieve their goals as long as members of minority groups see themselves as victims. The moment someone is actually liberated, they're a threat to the woke left. That's what happened to Gina Carano. And I'm ecstatic to see that many Star Wars fans recognize that woke warriors like Kathleen Kennedy, who claim to champion liberation and empowerment, are the real oppressors. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded. It was actually our live stream last night. It's on how top Democrats, who are once considered kingmakers in their party, are facing removal from office. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.